All right, guys, we all heard about the news about Elon. Look, the Bitcoin pushed up, from the bottom, from the time, that this news came out, about a little over 14%. Had you caught the bottom of this, which we have charts that showed it, it pushed up a total of 19%. Listen, I get it. Elon, this, he's buying into it. Same with Dogecoin. It's causing people to FOMO. It's pushing the price up. I understand. And you know what? I think by late February, I think this is going to be coming down. I'm not saying to 3K. I'm saying I think it's very possible market's going to correct and Bitcoin's going to correct as well. I'm going to show you why. Hey, I think this might be an ideal point to short Bitcoin. You might think this is insane. Why would you short Bitcoin? We're in a bull market right now. Well, guys, I called this as a top before. This was a video I put out on January 8th. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to watch it. I said, look, Bitcoin topped out with a question mark. It's possible we could have pushed higher. I had a lot of charts showing that this is a point we could be topped out. I was correct. I could have been wrong, but it just made sense. I had multiple charts showing that this would be a likely point to top out. And I'll cover some other charts why it showed this was the case. But this is the chart. This was the top. So had you got out right here, we dropped a total of, a little over 30%. So had you got out here, again, it's always a chance. I'm just giving you points to watch. Guys, this is swing trading. Just because I say we're topped out doesn't mean we can't ever go higher again. It just means this is a likely point to take your profit, buy lower. And had you done that and bought in down here, we pushed up a total of 53%. Again, guys, it's swing trading. See this point right here? This is where I was saying that we were topped out right here at 41,543. Well, again, this was a point, I said we could potentially be topped out. Why? Well, I'm going to go to this chart. This is, you can see it's pushing up right now. I have a lot of charts open here. Bitcoin dominance. Look, this is January 29th. Notice dominance topped out right here at this 5th channel line. Dominance pushed up, got rejected, came down. That was a likely point to get topped out. That's what this represents, January 29th. We pushed up, came down. Dominance pushed up, came down. I've been telling you to follow the dollar index, follow Bitcoin dominance. You see dominance topped out up here, starting to come down to support. This would be a likely point to potentially short. Now, let me show you why this is the case. It might play out differently. I'm going to cover all of this. And again, let me give you price targets. So according to this chart right here, if we push up, watch for a potential rejection at 45,541. Can we push above that? Of course. I'm just saying it's likely if we hit that point, this could be a point to potentially get rejected, come down to the support, and push higher. Again, all I'm saying is these are points to watch. It is swing trading, guys. If you're hodling long term, it does not even matter. But, again, if we get topped out here 45,541, we might find support 40,634 and push up higher. So, again, people, say I'm always bearish. Well, I do have a bearish bias, but, I put out this video on February 5th saying Bitcoin could moon in the next 24 hours. And if you take the time to watch the video and listen to what I'm saying, you had a perfect indicator to know when to get in and when to get out. Again, this is February 3rd. I'll put a link to this video now if you want to watch it. So in this video, I was saying, look, we're in a rising wedge. This is the dollar index. The dollar was pushing up. Bitcoin was going sideways. Typically, Bitcoin is hedged against the US dollar. You would think if the dollar is pushing up, Bitcoin would be coming down. But since the dollar is pushing up, Bitcoin is going sideways. If the dollar dropped, then that would mean Bitcoin would just start to skyrocket. So that's what I'm saying. Either it breaks to the upside or the downside. It's more likely it breaks to the downside because this is a rising wedge. Actually, what happened is we had a little fake out. The dollar pushed up. Bitcoin continues sideways. But if you notice how this played out, and again, I was saying if the dollar comes down, Bitcoin will moon. This is the chart. This is the DXY chart just published on January 29th. And if you've been following me, I said every time you hit an orange ring, the dollar pushes up. Hit an orange ring, dollar pushes up. I gave you a perfect point. If you wanted to long the US dollar, you knew exactly when to do it. When you make contact with this ring, long the US dollar. And I said when we cross the ring, it's likely it's going to drop. This is how this chart played out. You can see we rode right up this ring. So way in advance, you knew this is a point that the US dollar would push up. Look how perfect this pivot was right here. As soon as we crossed this ring, the dollar came down. I noticed that crypto schizophrenic Kirby has recently been talking about the US dollar. You know, I was the first one talking about the inverse correlation with the dollar and to follow that. Now other people are saying, yeah, follow the dollar. Guys, I was telling you to pay attention. If the dollar drops, jump into Bitcoin. If the dollar continues up, you know, be a little cautious because Bitcoin could come down. And this is totally correlated. Look, the dollar was coming down, Bitcoin pushed up. Dollar pushed up a bit, Bitcoin came down. Now the dollar is coming down, Bitcoin's pushing up. This is the actual live chart right here. You can see this is the same thing showing you, look, the dollar is still coming down. It's possible Bitcoin could push higher. Notice, perfect pivot right here at this ring. Guys, that's what I give you. I give you points to watch, to potentially, you know, a move at this ring. When you cross the ring, that's a point for a pivot. Played out perfectly. So again, this did play out. It just took longer to play out because the dollar was riding up this ring. We broke to the upside. Hey, that's not quite bullish for Bitcoin. If it breaks down, that is very bullish, but it took longer for it to cross this ring. So this did play out. It just took longer to play out. Let's see. So again, so this is the dollar index charts. This is another one. So your next support for the dollar index is right down here at 90.80, and you can see we did break this trend line right here. This was support. This is our resistance. We're coming down. So again, if the dollar continues down, you want to be in Bitcoin. This here, dominance. So again, you know, like I said, this right here, this was January 29th. You know, notice right here, we pushed up. Where did we top out? Well, we topped out when dominance topped out. You can see right here, dominance is coming down. So that could be bearish for Bitcoin. Now, I said, you know, why potentially to short Bitcoin right now, especially with the news with Elon and we're in a bull market and it's pushing up. Well, so I published this chart on December 31st. Again, we're going to cover the Dow Jones and some other things, and I'm going to give you some price targets to watch. But let me just hit play, show you this chart. Let me zoom in just a bit. Take note of this white ring. So if you'll notice, if I hit play, look where we topped out at. And we are above it slightly. But notice this white ring, hit it, topped out, hit this white ring, topped out. It's all the same flip circle. Topped out, hit this white ring, topped out. I know you can't see my mouse. But notice where we're at right now. We're just above this currently. This is the actual chart. Let me see here. So we are above this. We did get above this right at this point here. This is 44,822. We have not quite get above this point. You know, your next target above to watch is 48,510. As I said, you know, these charts are points to watch for support and resistance. If you had access to this chart, you know, you could have caught this bottom and took advantage of this entire move up, which was roughly, you know, a little over 20%. This was resistance right here. Resistance. Pushed above it. It was support. I buy a support, ride it up. So you could ride this up. This chart shows exactly. And this, I mean, this is the white ring. Look, topped out here. Topped out here. Are we topped out? I don't know. Maybe we could go higher. Again, it's probabilities. It's a gamble. It's possible from this point we continue down. It's possible if we push up. Look, the next white ring above is up here at 48,500. We'll have to see how this plays out. I'm just showing you how these charts work. We could come back down below this point. This here, just want to show you. So this is what I was saying. Look, if I was a gambling man, I would short this right now from this point. Again, that's why I say it's a gamble. You know, every other time we hit a white ring, we did get rejected. We are above it now, but it doesn't mean we can't come back down. So again, I'm just showing you how these charts work. This was, and we're going to cover a few other things, but look guys, let me explain to you why I'm expecting potentially for the markets to correct and for Bitcoin to come down. And if you paid attention during our COVID crash, the dollar spiked, markets corrected, and Bitcoin crashed big time, all right? And I'm saying it's very possible to happen again. And you're saying, well, why do you think it's late February? I'm going to show you. If you want to watch this video I put out, this is about the Dow Jones. This is about 16 minutes, 36 seconds in on this video. I'll put a link up to it right now if you want to click it. All these videos I'm referencing in the description as well. But anyways, I was talking about we wouldn't get above this point where this yellow line is. That is 31,135. Remember, the further out you go, the higher it gets. So this was the chart I published about the Dow Jones. This was on December 31st, 2020. And I was saying, look, you know, we tested it. This was before our COVID crash. Tested it one time, tested it again, and then we crashed. So I was saying we're probably going to get topped out at this point. So if I hit play, you know, look what's happening here. We're testing it again, right here. We're testing it. We got rejected. We're slightly coming down. And you say, well, why are you saying that we're going to potentially crash? Well, I'm going to show you the actual chart. I'll just show you the actual chart here. So look at this, and I'm going to show you another chart that predicted the Dow Jones crash, and I just want you to pay attention to understand this. So if we do stay below this point, and it does look like, look, if we push above this, and again, I'm using the Dow Jones. Last time I used the Dow Jones to predict the stock market crash. If one's going to crash, they're all going to crash. They're all connected, all right? So if the Dow Jones crashes, NASDAQ's coming down, S&P's coming down, the whole gamet's coming down. But again, we pushed up to this point, we got rejected. Obviously, if we push up above this point, we can go much higher, okay? Because this has been a lot of resistance going way back. I grant you that. If we get above this, hold support, hey, that's bullish, this can go much higher. But you say, why do you say late February, we're gonna crash? Well, I'd like to point out it was last year in February and March when the stock market crashed. Just because it happened last year at the same time does not mean it has to happen at the same time this year. But I want to show you why I'm saying that's the case. If you notice these fib channel lines, guys. If you watch my tutorials, understand how I create these charts, maybe it would make more sense. But notice right here, again, price is respecting this fib channel. And I can zoom out a good bit and show you. And you can see right here. I mean, look at this fib channel line right here. See this yellow fib channel line? Notice when we crossed this, we started coming down. Notice we found support on this fib channel line, resistance here, support, came down, support and resistance. So look, these fib channel lines are points to watch right here. So, notice, look, we came up. We found support on this fib channel line right here, resistance, came down, found support, pushed up. It was resistance. So again, these are points to watch for moves, not just the rings, guys, but the fib channels. Notice what happened here. We pushed up, and again, this is the Dow Jones. Support become resistance. Resistance came down to support. Again, we crossed it, we came down. So if you look at it, we got topped out at this point. This is a point to come down, right? So what happens here? This was support. You can notice I got a little orange trend line here. This was support. What happened? We crossed it, we came down. So why do I say maybe late February? Well, you got this fib channel line right here we're coming up on. If we move sideways from here, this is about 14 days. 14 days from now, it's very possible we could start doing something like this. And at this point, when we cross this fib channel line, if we're underneath the strong resistance, that would be a likely point. The Dow would start correcting. And if the Dow starts correcting, yes, the other markets will correct as well. So I'm just showing you, why I'm saying that it's going to be potentially late February. If we stay underneath the strong resistance, we have not been able to get above this point. Going all the way back, we barely got above it here on... This was the 24th, 2018. We have not got above this point. Look, we tested it right here on October 2nd, 2018. We tested it twice before our COVID crash. And guys, we are testing it again right now, and we cannot get above it, at least not yet. So I'm telling you, if this continues to hold as strong resistance, this is the point to watch. That is what I'm waiting for. When we cross this fib channel line, it is very possible what happened here. Come down. Come down. That's what I'm saying. It is very possible at this point. Hey, maybe it plays out like this one. We hit this and pushed up. Maybe it's possible we do something like this. If at this point we push up above this point, hey, get bullish on the US markets. But if we stay below this point and cross this fib channel line, that's what I'm saying, we can have a correction. And every time we've had a correction with the stock market, the dollar pushes up, Bitcoin comes down. That's what I'm saying. So pay attention to this date when we cross this fib channel line, especially if we stay underneath this resistance. Let's go on to the next thing here. So this is another example. This was a chart where I was predicting. I published this in January 7th, 2020. And yes, while I'll be using rings as well, you can see these fib channel lines. Same thing. It's a different chart, charted a different way. Notice right here. We crossed this fib channel line, we came down. We crossed this fib channel line, came down. Crossed this fib channel line, came down. Let me play this out just so you can see it. Look at this, right here, this fib channel line. As soon as we crossed it, bam, down we came. And look, we hit my targets and then some. And I was predicting this, back in 2019. Actually, late 2019, early 2020. This is published on January 7th, where I was predicting this. I said late February. My targets got hit. That's why I'm saying, guys, if we cannot get above this point, it is very possible when we cross this fib channel line, down we come. Again, all these charts are accessible on my website. If you do want to access these charts, the website's optimarkcrypto.com. The link will be pinned in the first comment in the description. Bitcoins, altcoins, precious metals, stocks, and tutorials. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions through the contact page. And again, this is where I was talking about the tweet about, look, we got resistance at this white ring. Again, we could go higher. I'm just saying it's a point to watch. I do want to cover a few things. So this here, just showing you the accuracy of these charts. At this point right here, you can see we were finding resistance at this point. And I was telling people, I said, look, this is my prediction, what was going to happen. My prediction right here, this February 6th. I said, it's likely we push up to this green fib channel line, come down, find support on this white ring, come back up, find resistance, and come down. Now it played out close, not exactly. It pushed up higher than this green fib channel line. See, we got rejected right here. Guys, there are points to watch. If you want to put in a short or long or take your profit or buy back in, this is an ideal point to take your profit. Some people might have taken the profit sooner, but you can see how it played out. It came down. Look, we found support right on this ring. Like I said, we would find support on this ring. Now, I expected it to ride up the ring, cross it, and come down. Actually, how it played out, we topped out at the ring, came down, pushed back up, hit it to resistance. That was your point to take your profit. If you bought in here, take your profit here. We got rejected at the ring. We started coming back down. So it didn't play out identical, but it played out closely. I was expecting it to be support. It ended up to where it was resistance. So again, I'm just showing you, and look right here, this chart here showed the point to buy in. Right here, this was support. I had another chart, this red ring. Both of these charts, you see this fib channel line here and this red ring, this fib channel line here, this showed the point to buy in. Guys, I don't buy pumps, I buy at support. You buy in at support. This is proven to be strong support. This is proven to be strong support. You buy at support. I catch falling knives all the time. People say, well, you don't want to catch a falling knife. Guys, I catch them by the handle daily. That's what I do. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. You can join our Discord. These charts are accurate if you understand how to read them. But again, that is how you could have got in right here and rode this up, because this chart showed that. Let me show you. And this is the chart I was just showing you in that previous tweet. This is where we pushed up. We got rejected. Came down, found support. This ring was resistance, and we came down. And you can see this was the channel we were in before breaking to the upside. This here, so again, like I said, this chart right here, this was the point to potentially, and I made a tweet about this too. This was our support. But notice this right here, this red fib channel line, has been a lot of support and resistance. So had you bought in when you came down and tested it right here, this was your point to buy. This chart showed this is your support. We were caught in this falling wedge. This shot way above what a falling wedge would push up. But again, this was your support. I buy at support. Come down, hit support, buy. Hit support, buy. Come up to resistance. You sell. Look, even if you sold here at resistance and hit it to the tick, it came down 2.21%. You want to buy back in, ride it up. If you sold here and hit this to the tick, from this point, it came down a total of, a little over 8%. You buy back here and ride it up. So the question is, how far is this going to go? Well, this chart right here, you can see if I zoom out, I know it's kind of hard to see the candles on the 1 hour. Let me put this on the 2 hour. You can see right here, and again, this is the trajectory that Bitcoin price is following. This is our resistance right here. So if we push up, a likely point to get rejected is going to be right here. Look, 45,357. If we push above that, where's the next point? Well, look at all this resistance right here. All of this resistance. So a likely point if you push above that, and again, it's at an angle, guys, depends on when you make contact. The next likely point to get rejected right here, 48,158. Again, it's different charts are charted different ways. Price is respecting trend lines and fib channels in so many different directions. If we put it all in one chart, you wouldn't understand it because there'd be too much there. That's why I have different charts charted different ways. Load up one chart, look and see where your support and resistance levels are. Load up a chart with the closest resistance. This is your closest resistance to watch, 45,357. If it pushes above that, why would you say this is the next point? Because you can see this was resistance. You can also see it's actually following this trajectory. I mean, it's following this trajectory right here. So again, that is a likely point to get topped out if this is not the first point to get topped out. And don't forget about this right here. Notice that we are coming back down. And this could hold as support and we could push higher, or this could be the point to potentially get topped out and come back down. And I did show you in that tweet, every time we hit one of these white rings, guys, every time we hit a white ring, rejected, white ring, rejected, white ring right here, rejected, rejected. You know, we were forming a formation here. We came up, got rejected here, got rejected here, perfect rejection there. So hey, it is very possible, you know, even though we overshot it a bit, again guys, it's Fibonacci, it is possible. This is a point too short. It might be risky, but if it plays out, it could be profitable. Let me give you some other price targets, a couple of few things. So a lot of people are saying that I'm bearish, guys. I get it. You know, when I say we're top, people say we're in a bull run. We're not topped out. Every time I've called a top, we pretty much did top out and retrace back down. But before you say I'm bearish, you know, Citibank came out with a prediction saying that we would hit 300,000. I created this chart on November 23rd, 2019, way before Citibank came out with their projection of 300,000. Look right here, 300,000. Made this chart again November 23rd, 2019. Let me zoom in and show you how this chart played out. You know, this chart actually nailed the damn bottom. I made a tweet about this. I said, hey guys, when we drop, this is the bottom right down here, this ring. If I hit play, look at this, we bottomed right on this ring. Using fib circles, you can find targets nobody else can find. We bottomed right on this ring, right to the tick. I bought in here, wrote this up, sold when we topped out, came back down, bought back lower. Guys, playing it on the way up, swing trading. You sell up here, you buy back here, you sell up here, you buy back here. I know I have a ring that showed every time we hit right here, we'd sell. Or we get topped out to potentially sell. Every time we come up here, I'd sell. Buy back at support. Notice this fib channel line, hit it, perfect resistance. I had, I think, 3 charts to show this is a point to get rejected. I don't have it loaded right now. That was that blue ring I was talking about. We came down 20%. People said, we didn't crash, we went back up. Yeah, but if you would have sold at that ring, this is the actual chart here. Let me show you. Again, this is the second one. This is my first peak of the bull run chart. This is my peak of the bull run 2.0 chart. It's been updated. I actually made a video where I created this. But guys, look at what I'm talking about. You know, if you watch that animation that I made, you know, I was predicting when we hit that blue ring. Look, here's this blue ring. What happened when we hit this blue ring? We dropped a total of 20%. So had you paid attention, you could have sold and bought back 20%. The price was 20% cheaper here. And you knew about this months in advance. I was talking about this for a long time. Yeah, it doesn't mean that once we hit this point, we're going down to the abyss, we can't go higher. It just means this is a point to watch. You knew about this way in advance. But again, before you call me bearish, I still believe this chart is going to play out. I believe that we will hit this target. But I'm saying it is very possible we have a correction. And keep in mind, you know, the 20-week moving average has not been tested yet. In a healthy bull run, the 20-week gets tested. So it is very possible we could have a correction. You know, everybody's FOMOing in. I think probably 85%. If the fear and greed index is insanely high with greed, people think this is going to continue up. Maybe it does. Maybe we get rejected right here at 51,422. But at some point, they're going to take their profit and it's going to come down. You know, who knows how low? It depends on if we have a substantial correction in the stock market or if it's, you know, a slight retrace. We'll have to see. But that's what I'm saying. Follow the dollar index. I would not have made this video saying, you know, Bitcoin could moon in the next 24 hours if I wasn't serious about it. If the dollar drops, I expected us to get a pump. That is how it played out, guys. The dollar came down, Bitcoin pumped. Dollar came down, Bitcoin pumped. Now the dollar's pushing back up. So again, guys, I know I'm covering a lot. I'll probably repeat myself. I just want to make you aware. Follow the US dollar. The dollar is your first indicator. Follow dominance. If dominance is coming down, that's probably you want to be out of Bitcoin. If dominance is pushing up, you want to be in. And again, you know, all these charts are accessible on the website, softwarecrypto.com. The link will be pinned in the first comment and description. Again, $39 a month to get Bitcoin, altcoin, precious metals, access to the Discord and my Twitter. Stocks and tutorials are separate. Tutorials just teach you a method I came up with, teaching you how I create these charts. And again, on Twitter, I had made a post. So I just finished a project I was working on for a client. I'm going to be creating all new charts, recreating the current charts, updating those, and once I'm done with that, I'm having a method or a new way I'm creating these charts. But once they're updated and I'm done with them, then I'm going to start taking chart requests. So people have a chart they want to make, I'll make a post on Twitter, and then I'll start creating those charts that people want. But guys, I hope that covers everything. Again, you know, I am bearish because I think we do have one more drop coming. I do think that drop will happen on late February. If you have access to this chart, this is under stocks. Pay attention to this fib channel line. When we hit this point, when we cross, if we cross underneath this yellow trend line, if we cross below this point, I think it's very possible if we continue to do this, we are coming down. We're going to have one hell of a correction, and that means dollar's going to push up, Bitcoin's going to come down. Pay attention to that. I get it. Bitcoin is pushing up. People are getting super bullish, but I think it is very possible that this is going to come down. Again, we'll see right here. We're kind of topped out at this point. Again, I have a chance to short here if I use leverage. I don't use leverage. I think it's too risky. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on Twitter. And since my Twitter is private for you guys don't have access to it, I will make a post in the community section on YouTube. I already did make a post about a potential point to short, but I'll make a post later so you guys who aren't subscribed to the charts can see how this played out. But guys, that's it. Till the next video.